We're here. We're good. We're on. Nice. Dude, I have been ripping the biggest belches, and my daughter's like, "Can you please stop?" I'm like, "No, I actually can't."
Did that
Like,
make it
sorry.
on? Did that make it
It's
on there?
just,
Or maybe
it
we'll
did
see.
probably.
All right, well,
Yeah, it'll be fun.
that's for
Well,
you.
I mean, I can always cut it, but
Um, well, happy Sunday.
happy Sunday. Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. After this, I get to go get my oil changed because it's been slowly counting down on me for the last like month or so, and I'm down to zero. And I'm like, I really got to go
It's
get my oil
also,
changed.
you could go for another 1,000 miles and probably nothing bad would happen,
I
but
know, but
they don't want you to
I
know
don't like
that.
to do that.
I know.
It makes,
I
yeah.
understand.
So, um, all right. Well, what do you want to share Z with me today?
Well, I just think that the last few days here in Southern California have been quite the roller coaster treat with the we're going to close the 5 freeway for 17 miles on Saturday in the middle of the day. No, we're not. Yes, we are. No, we're not. Yes, we are. The president said we're doing it and it's all his fault. No, the governor said we're doing it. It's all his fault. So the Marines at Camp Pendleton in San Diego Oceanside area are having the big 250th happy birthday hoopla, and JD Vance is coming into town, and they're going to be doing some things where they're shooting live ammunition across the freeway, and they were going to close it, but then they weren't going to close it. And then they announced at like 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, oh yeah, we're closing the 5 from 11 to 3.
Oh, that's like all day.
That is peak
Yeah.
5 traffic hour.
Yeah.
So I'm all for safety and I'm all for parties and I'm all for these things. I'm not all for massive inconvenience to the world. And if you were going to do this, you should have made the decision 3 weeks ago, and you should have put the signs up, and you should have, so that everybody knew, either change your plans, change your party dates, drive down the night before, whatever it was. They didn't, and it was a last minute thing, and it turned into, and the the finger pointing and the blaming and then they, like, at 12:30 they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll open it, but we're gonna do like traffic breaks and stop
What day was this
everybody
supposed to
for
happen? Yesterday?
yesterday. We'll do traffic breaks when they start shooting the live ammunition across the freeway. We'll just stop
Oh,
everybody for
God.
5 minutes, and then we'll let
It probably backed up all the way to Mexico.
yeah. Because I have morbid curiosity, had to look and see if I was going to go to San Diego, and you have to go around, and it rerouted me, and it was going to take me um 2 almost 3 hours, and then the amount of traffic that, because that, if that's your only way, then like the Ortega Highway was red all the way, the 91 red. It was just,
You
I
didn't
just would have
have
canceled
to,
my
if you didn't
plans.
have to go somewhere, you were just better off just
I
staying
wouldn't have
home.
gone. Even if unless, like, there is nothing that urgent that I had to be there. Like, I'm just not going. And then half the trains going through, they canceled those too because they didn't want anybody.
They just didn't want
There
any
was no
kind of,
way.
like, could you walk through there? I mean, like foot traffic?
No,
Just gonna
because you
walk on through.
no, because
No.
it's through Camp Pendleton. Like, it's you can't, it's not.
Oh,
It's 17 miles
what a
of,
nightmare.
yes.
What
So
a
that
freaking
was
nightmare.
yay, Cal. And then of course you had
Yay,
all the No King's
California.
protest, which was the, like, biggest one, was going to be in Oceanside to try and counter the 250th birthday of the Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just needs to smoke some weed or eat a
Take a gummy
mushroom
and
and just
relax.
relax. Jeez, there's just too much stress in the world. Uh,
Wow. Wow. Well, it's funny because people here complain about traffic. Like, oh, there's so much traffic
they have
now. And I just
no
look at them like, you have no idea. No idea
no
what
idea.
real traffic is. So,
No
wow.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Carmageddon and when they closed the Sepulveda Pass because they were redoing that, I
It was
thought, oh
like
my God. But at
2
least,
months of, like,
yeah,
notice.
at
Like, we
least they
talked about
prepared
it. It was
you.
on the
They
news.
prepared you. This was
This
like, wow. Nobody could make a decision. That's awful.
Nobody could make a decision, and then it was blaming everybody else, and like, do we really need to? No, we did. Like, but like, all, I don't know. It's just it, and it's, I'm sure, a lot of political bullshit,
Yeah.
because, right, Trump hates Gavin hates Trump, so let's just do it or not do it and blame each other, and stop.
Mm.
Can't.
Well, my Kersey kind of goes along the lines of our episode about things people should know and helping kids learn to adult. And this just happened yesterday. So it's like, bing, there it is. We had a lost wallet incident at work. And so we're looking through the wallet, trying to figure out who's this person. And in looking through the wallet, I found the wallet owner's social security card. Do not keep your social security card in your wallet just for this reason. If I was a dastardly person with bad thoughts in my head, I could really wreck this person's life. And so I want to also add another one to this. Do not keep the pink slip for your vehicle in your glove box.
In your car.
Don't
No.
do that. That is your proof of ownership of your vehicle. And if your vehicle gets stolen, guess what?
They have the pink
Somebody
slip. They own it.
with dastardly thoughts could ruin your life. Okay? That's my Kersey.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, those are very important documents that should be kept somewhere where they can't get lost or stolen.
For probably $50, you could get a little fire safe and you just throw those in there and you keep it somewhere. And that way too, if you've got an emergency or an evacuation or you're in a place or something, you just grab it and go. And then you have the most important things.
And your passport as well. Let's add your passport in there.
Yeah.
And always,
Birth certificate.
one thing my mom drilled into my brain is before you mail anything important, make a copy. Keep copies.
Yes.
Because that will
Yes.
save your ass. But the paper, you know what? Cut down all the trees. I don't care. We have plenty. Keep the paper because that will save your ass. One of these days, I will have all the paper when everything crashes and I'll be fine. The rest of you will be scrambling around. Well, it's in the cloud. Oh, well, that's really doing you a lot of good.
When the cloud isn't available.
Exactly. All right. So let's get to our topic today. As you can see, I'm wearing a jaunty hat, which I love.
You are wearing a jaunty
I
hat.
call this my Run DMC voodoo hat because we're going to talk about all things Halloween. We're going to focus on our favorite Halloween movies, Halloween traditions, Halloween memories. Halloween's my favorite of all time holiday. So we're just going to cover everything. So I don't know where you wanted to start, but where we're going to start is, what is your earliest Halloween memory?
Rough one. I don't even know. I mean, I'm going to guess probably somewhere in like 10 or 11 years old. And I just always remember that we, growing up Catholic, always went to Catholic church on Saturday. So when Halloween fell on a Saturday, it was like we had to go to church and I couldn't do anything until we got home from church. And so everybody'd be getting ready, or there'd be like neighborhood parties, or and I had to go to church and then come home and get it. So I don't have like a specific, but I just remember that was a thing.
Yeah, because the first of November 1st is All Souls Day, so, or All Saints Day,
That
one of
was
them.
also nice. All
Yeah.
Saints Day. Well, we always
We'd
got
have the
that
day
off at
off.
school, so
Yeah.
that was kind of cool.
We'd have the day off. I remember seeing pictures of when we were little, my brothers and me in little costumes. I don't remember. I just remember looking at the pictures, but I don't remember those memories. But I think the earliest was because people don't really, the YMCA used to be a big deal back,
Yeah,
like for
big
our
deal.
parents and when we were kids, and we had a YMCA near us that did a lot of organized carnivals, fairs and things for around holidays for families. And so I remember we used to go to stuff there. And so I remember going to the Y for, it must have been a Halloween carnival, and they gave out candy. And that's back when we had those god awful costumes that was basically looked like a hospital
plastic ones.
smock. And it was like that nylon that was so flammable, ironically. And it tied in the back, and it had a screen printed whatever character you wanted. And then the little plastic molded mask with the little hole that we stuck our tongue through,
Yeah.
little breathing
A
hole.
little plastic hole. for
And the
eyes
little
and
rubber
mouth.
band
Yeah.
always broke. And I think we had one that was a tiger, and I don't know whose it was, but somehow I ended up with it. And then my mom, I think, had made some clown costumes at some point for my brothers. You got to the point with costumes where you're like, anything where I can paint my face or do something funky with my hair. And
Yeah.
so I think I did a clown for a few years. But we had to stop trick-or-treating when we turned 13. That was my parents' rule because you're a teen now. This is for kids. You can be done. So that's when
Is
we
that when you started going out and egging and throwing pumpkins in the middle of the
I never
street?
did that. I never did that. But that's when like the parties started. You know, you'd go to a party or my friend Lori from grade school, we did a lot of sleepovers. Um, and so I'd go to her house, she'd come to my house, we'd do trick or treating, we'd watch scary movies. The Birds was one of our favorite.
Okay.
Shout out Alfred Hitchcock. And then at midnight, Twilight Zone was always on. So we were really into the
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. Tales from the Dark Side, not to be confused with Tales from the Crypt, that was different. But just
So bad.
all of those shows, we loved them. We loved horror movies and horror
I
shows.
loved horror movies.
Yeah. So, and then as you got older, then it was like you went to bars, you went to, adult parties. Um, there's a girl on Instagram, uh, it's called Refashioned Hippie, who is hilarious. She does a whole thing about costumes that come from something seemingly innocent, like a movie or a TV show, that are turned into basically a slutty costume for a girl or a woman. She'll be pointing at it going, I don't like this. And it's like Harry Potter Hermione costume, but it's very slutty. She's like, this makes me uncomfortable. It's just kind of, she's really funny, but that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't remember dressing slutty just because I could on Halloween. But that seems to be, a popular thing. Oh, you want to be a cop? Well, be a slutty cop. You want to be a fireman? Be a slutty fireman.
Yeah, I think maybe one or two Halloween. It's a lot of effort, and I always wanted to be clever at
Mm-hmm.
Halloween. Like I wanted the one year that somebody was a Freudian slip, and so they wore a slip and they put the word Freudian on it, or like I found this weird like crochet dress, and then I taped plastic um like place settings on it, and I was a table
Mm-hmm.
because it looked like a tablecloth. Like I
Or
always wanted to do something clever, and
serial
I was
killer
never really
was
very clever.
serial killer was
Yeah,
funny for a while. You dressed like a box of cereal with like a big knife. I'm a serial killer.
yeah.
Yeah. Or
I
you
just
just
was never
wear
very clever.
all one color. I'm a stripe. I think my Mary Kay um, outfit
Well,
was
that
that
was the
was
best.
that was brilliant. I wore that to one of your parties. I had a hot pink suit,
Yeah,
just the hair, the makeup, the big hot pink caboodle case, and somebody
and
thought I was
God
an
bless
actual
my.
Mary Kay salesperson.
That was my brother-in-law, Vance.
Yep.
Love love the fact that he thought that was real. That
Yep.
was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I never could really get very clever. Now, with my kids, we got a lot of clever. And my daughter's small group of friends, always, there were like 4 or 5 of them, depending on the year. They always had fun stuff. One year they went as Kiss. It was awesome. And like we got like boots and we put mirrors on it. Like we
You did
decked it
all
like it
out.
was like a
Yeah.
homemade costume. And then a couple years later, they went as Smurfs. And this is a funniest story. So I'm putting the blue paint all over their face, and I go to wash my hands and it's not coming off. So I turn to one of the other moms and I'm like, "Oh shit, it's not coming off." And they're like, "What?" I go, "It's not coming off." Like, and we're like, "Don't tell them because like they're like in 4th grade. And they're like, you can't before they go out trick or treating say, "Oh, by the way, your faces are all going to be blue tomorrow." So we didn't. And then I start reading the package and it says you have to wait 30 minutes for it to fully dry before you are. And then I waited a little longer and then I washed my hands and it came right off. So I was
Okay.
like, oh, thank God. But boy, there was a
That would have been
20-minute
fun.
moment of panic where we were like,
They all
oh,
would have went
that
to
would not have
school
been good
blue.
with blue faces. That would have been so funny, but not because, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we had good ones for the kids, but I
We did
was never that clever.
we did some good group costumes the last several years. Um, we did Clue, which was fun. So everybody
Okay,
was
yeah,
dressed as a
fun.
different. member of the Clue game. We did the Spice Girls, but everybody had a T-shirt with a different spice on it. Like somebody was
Spice.
salt and somebody was pepper and somebody was
That's
cinnamon, and
amazing.
we all had these little Devo looking hats, so we looked like spice jars. What else did we do? We did Alice in Wonderland one year. We did, I can't remember, some of the other ones were pretty good, but yeah, we did some good group costumes. Um,
I'm writing the Spice Girls down. I like that one.
yeah.
I'm stealing that one.
I did Flo from the Progressive Ads. That was a good one.
That's a good
I
one.
did the Long Island Medium, Teresa Caputo, one year. Um, I did, I don't know if you remember, there was a Planters Peanut commercial, and it was a
Hmm.
girl like on a bus, and she just had like, she just was a weird looking girl. And I just remember they showed that commercial over and over and over. I did that one year. I did Lunch Lady Doris one year. I even had like a giant mole with like big hairs sticking out of it. Um, yeah, because we used to have the one of the restaurants in June Lake was that was the end of the season. That was the last day they were open until right
Yeah.
till Christmas. So they had a big party. So we always had to do something fun. I think Tom did. He was Burt Reynolds one year. He found like a red button-down shirt and a cowboy hat. One year we went as our old bosses that we didn't like. That caused quite a commotion. Um, and what else did we do? I did the costume one year where I dressed as an old lady in like a nightgown and stuck a toy stuffed animal dog in my butt crack, and then had a little sign that said, "Have you seen my dog?" Handing out flyers, "Have you seen my dog?" It's pretty good. So I tried to be, clever, but I didn't make any of these things up. I just, copied stuff that I would see. But that's why I just love Halloween. I love trying to be creative, be funny, make people laugh. That it brings that out in me. Um, you know, as I got older, I have had a neighbor that loved to read Stephen King, so she got me reading Stephen King books. Now,
Oh, his books are so much better than the movies.
that went down a hole you cannot come back from. Some of that stuff is pretty
Yeah.
odd, disturbing, weird, dark. Um, but I stopped reading those books because this neighbor died of cancer. And towards the end, I mean, that's all she could do was lay in bed and read books. And she had a hard time distinguishing between reality and these books. And it
That's
got
not good.
a little weird. So I'm like, you know what? I don't think I need to read these anymore. It's getting a little weird here. But
Some
yeah.
Mary Poppins going.
Yeah. So,
I will say that like my very very favorite scary movie, and it's the is The Exorcist and like The Omen and all of those weird like
Rosemary's Baby.
supernaturally kind of like, yeah, just I don't know, maybe it's part of the Catholic, you're right, it's just like it
Yeah.
it seems a little more realistic. Like this, the slasher movies don't really like, they startle me but they don't scare me, but like The Exorcist, like it scares me. I hear that ding, 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 that music and I'm like, "Ah."
Well, in God bless the 70s. That's when all of those
Yeah.
movies, that genre kind of took off. And I remember being in school and like a priest would come in and talk to our class and how you doing? And just checking in. Anybody have any questions? And someone would say, "Hey, have you ever done an exorcist?" And oh, they hated that. The nuns hated that. They hated that. And, they would laugh and say, no, that's just in the movies. We don't really do that. And
Is it
um,
though?
is it though? Is it
Is it
though?
though?
So yeah, that was a good era. We have seen some pretty bad horror movies together as I was kind of taking a little stroll down Halloween memory lane. Do you remember a little movie called The Prince of Darkness?
Is that the one we saw in the movie theater?
I think
What did we see at
it,
that?
I couldn't remember if we saw it in the theater or rented it or both. I think we did both. And it
Maybe
was
both.
John Carpenter of Halloween fame produced it. and or directed it, or both. Donald Pleasance was in it. He played Dr. Loomis in the original Halloween, the psychologist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
And Alice Cooper was in it. And we thought we were so cool. Oh, we got to go see it because Alice Cooper's in it. And the movie was horrible. I can't even remember. I just remember sitting there
Horrible.
like, this is moving really slow and I have no idea what's happening. Like they were in a church,
None.
they found a doorway, somebody was possessed. I don't even know what was happening. The devil, Alice Cooper was the devil, or maybe he wasn't. I don't know. Don't remember. Not going back to watch it.
I will say that also one of my top favorites is the original Halloween. It was just so good.
It
Like
still is.
it just is so good. It doesn't have a lot of like super gore, like you don't see it. It's implied and it's there, and that mask. I know that they have like this time of the year, all of the things start popping up on Instagram and TikTok with like the 6-year-old kid who walks around town, like his neighborhood in that mask, or like they pull up to a car and the car like turns and the guy's wearing the mask, and it's like, don't do that
Don't
around
do that.
me. Like I will, that's not, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't
So
do
one
that.
of the when I used
I
to when I used to do the haunted house every year at the hotel, I one of the themes one year, and it happened to coincide with I just lost the name of it, Ryan Murphy. Um, what's that show he
the
does?
the series.
The series. Anyway, it was the
Yeah,
the carnival
yeah.
themed one, and I thought, oh,
But yeah,
let's
that
do a
was a good
creepy
one.
carnival, and so we had it all set up. So the day of Halloween, that afternoon, Tom gets dressed up in this like creepy clown outfit with a full mask and everything, with a fake knife, and just kind of starts wandering around town as the kids are starting to trick or treat. And
American Horror
American
Story.
Horror Story. And so he was walking down one street and the kids saw him, and then he'd like duck behind a house and go through someone's yard and pop out on the next street, and they're like, "Who is that? Who is that?" I'm like, "You terrorized the neighborhood." And that was the year that in the news somebody in a clown outfit was actually doing that.
Oh yeah,
And yeah,
there was a whole
and
there was a whole clown like thing.
a killer clown thing going on. And so
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, that was some interesting timing. And I think one of the moms actually like grabbed him. She's like, "Who is that? Who is that?" She was trying to pull his mask off, and I said that was some good advertising for the haunted house because that was probably the best year we had doing
yeah.
that. So,
Recently there was a situation in either Virginia or West Virginia where three, and they sounded like they were probably kids. They were dressed in costumes with masks and they're knocking on somebody's door and the Ring camera catches it and it's like, open the door or we're going to open it for you. And she thinks it's a joke, but it's not. Like there's, I don't know if they're trying to rob the place. I don't know if they're purpose, but like PSA kids, don't do that because you get the wrong person. There's already been a number of kids that go try and knock on doors or break into houses. You're going to get shot and
hmm,
killed, and you can't do that. Don't.
I live in an open carry
Just ding
state.
dong ditch.
You don't do that here. You don't do
Yes,
that
no,
here.
yeah, don't.
Um, I was scrolling to try and remember, God, what were some really good Halloween movies or bad Halloween movies? And um, this one, you have to love it for what it is. And I watched the trailer because I'm like, I'm not going back to watch this movie, but I watched the trailer and I laughed my ass off because it's just so campy and bad. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
So good, so good.
It's a cult favorite.
Too.
And I'm like, oh, I'll just watch the trailer. I'm like, oh my God, this is just so funny, so
There
bad.
was a whole lot. There was that. There was like the Blob. There was some of the Creep Show stuff. Like those were just all so funny. One also that came up that was it's cult classic was the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh,
Oh, so much
no,
fun
I've
to
never,
watch that
I've never
movie.
gone to see it, like where you have the whole experience. I've only ever watched
Yeah, I
it like
haven't
on
either.
video at home. I've never seen it
Yeah,
like where you go and to the
they
theater and
throw the
yeah, and
toast
the
and they're
water and all
dressed. Yeah,
that.
I don't. Yeah,
So,
neither have I. I don't need
I
to.
don't need to
But
either.
it's fun. It's a funny movie.
It is funny.
It's
It is
hilarious.
funny.
Susan Sarandon is like awesome.
Very young too. A very young Susan
Very
Sarandon.
young.
Another one I think we saw together that was kind of interesting, The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Oh God, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was kind of a
That's one of
voodoo
those
theme
weird,
set in the New
yeah,
Orleans type of. I don't even
yeah.
remember the story, but there was voodoo, and I remember the scene where and it kind of turned into a, hey, did she give you the serpent and the rainbow treatment? Where he was sitting in a chair and they take a giant spike with a hammer and nail it through his parts or part. It was like, ooh, ah, no.
Yeah, that one
Ah.
I just remember it being weird. It's very probably like modern day. That's probably similar to like an M. Night Shyamalan time of thing, like
Hmm.
where you don't really know what's going to happen, and then something weird, and you're just like, there's all these underlying themes that you have no idea what they meant. And maybe, yeah, that was a weird one.
So
I
speaking,
feel like
go ahead.
the main character in that looked kind of like the guy from White Shadow. Yeah,
It was the guy that's in The Sinner, the series.
yeah,
He's the
yeah, yeah,
detective in The Sinner, and I can't remember his name now, but I
yeah.
think that was him.
I know. Yep.
Um, but
Yeah.
speaking of underlying themes where you're like, what the hell's happening here? Jacob's Ladder. Do you remember that movie?
That's another. Yeah, yeah.
And I guess
I love all
I
those
think
movies.
they tried to remake it, and it's like, come on, leave the original
Doesn't make
alone.
sense.
I never saw the remake, but it did not. From what I read, it could not compare to the original, and it was not very popular. But that was an interesting one. A lot of religious themes in that one.
For sure.
Yeah, the original Halloween.
Ghost Yep, Ghostbusters came up on my 20 seconds of research, and I don't recall it being Halloween related,
Mm,
but it was
it
fun.
was fun. It's, well,
It's a fun
ghosts,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
I liked Ghostbusters. I never saw the remake that they did with all the women. I
I
didn't
didn't
see
either.
how that worked out, but all of those types of like the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I just watched Sleepy Hollow last night. That was on. I like that one. That's a Johnny Depp, Tim Burton extravaganza bonanza.
Yep.
Um,
Also, Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim
now
Burton,
I've never seen that one.
Halloween.
I know
So
that's got a
I
huge
had
cult following.
huge, and
Huge.
I had never seen it. And then Sonia and I went to go see the thing that Danny Elfman does at the Hollywood Bowl. If you ever get a chance, I highly recommend it. It was so cool where they have the movie playing on big video screens all over the stadium. And then you're watching the movie, and then any part that is song is done music and singing by a live orchestra right in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's just a super super cool experience, and it was very very cool,
Yeah.
very cool.
That sounds like
And
fun.
then at the end of that particular one, Steve Bartek came out and they sang Dead Man's Party, and it was the first
Nice.
time they had ever done that in 25 years,
How
and it was
fun.
super cool.
How fun.
Yeah,
That's a
it was fun.
treat.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a treat.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think we watched that together.
Also not a Halloween movie, but Summer School. Do the dance for me, baby.
Dance.
The kids want to do their own. They're in summer school and they want to do their own slasher movie,
Yeah.
and they're running down the hall with the with
They
the
were,
chainsaw going.
that's right. They were obsessed with that movie,
Oh,
and that was
obsessed
their
with it.
project. Their
Yeah,
for the term was to make
do
their
the
own
dance
movie.
for
Do the
me,
dance
baby.
for me, baby.
Yeah,
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 that era. I have to throw Jaws in there. Jaws.
yeah. It's not
You never see the shark until like
Halloween.
three-quarters of the way through the movie. So it's like you said, like in Halloween, it's that implied kind of terror where you're
Yeah.
like, what is it? What is it? What is it? We don't see. You see like a fin. You're like, oh shit. Um,
Well,
and
you can't get the. It's because I think from what I remember, it was because the shark kept breaking at Universal Studios. Like they couldn't get it to work all the time, so they just
so we always laugh about that because I mean, God, we would
it's
go to that. We'd take that tour so many times. Anytime someone came to visit us, we had to go to Universal Studios, and you finally get to the where the shark is, and it's
it's like
and
the
it's all
pirates in the
shaky.
Pirates
It's
of the
all
Caribbean.
you're just like, oh God, it's horrible. Um, I've got to give a nod to like some of the older horror movies, like Psycho is a good one.
Oh,
Same
Psycho's
thing.
so
You have
good.
no idea what you're dealing with until the end. Spoiler
You just
alert.
don't.
His mother's
Oh yeah.
dead, and he's impersonating his mother. Um, Amityville Horror.
All the Alfred
All
Hitchcocks.
the Alfred
Yeah,
Hitchcocks.
Amityville was good.
Amityville
Yeah.
Horror. Now, there's a movie where the movie had nothing to do with the actual story. They kind of went in a whole
True.
different direction, but for its time, it was, we loved it because we were that age where it was like, oh my God, the Amityville Horror is based on a true story. And that house, that actual house, I think they finally changed the address and covered up those windows because any person that bought that house in New Jersey was like, why are 900 people a day coming by and taking pictures of my house?
It's like the Full House house now.
Exactly. Or the house in Goonies up in Oregon. I
Yep.
had a coworker
Yep.
that he said he and his wife actually looked at buying that house, and he said that's what kept them from doing it. They thought it would be kind of cool. Let's own the Goonies house until they heard from the neighbors what a nightmare it is. People
Don't.
going by there all
Yeah.
the day, all day long. Now there's a movie that was shown 800 times a day on HBO that we
Yes.
saw so many times, but still a good one. They're
That was a good one.
here. With the little kids.
Well, and then you had all of the like tragic stories from everybody that's like in the movie. There's like 4 or 5 people related to that movie that have these weird circumstantial tragic
The
deaths. And
Curse
it's
of the
like, is there
Poltergeist movie. Yeah.
yeah,
And the problem with those
don't mess
movies,
with it.
I'm going to say like Poltergeist, Psycho, um, even Ghostbusters, is they really tried with the sequels, but they're just never as good as the original. Never as good. Same with Halloween.
I don't feel like any sequels are ever as good.
No, yeah. They're
Sad.
sad. Let me see. What else did I have on my list?
I did do some 8 seconds of research about like where like how did we start with Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
and what came up was the now this is a debate in itself. Is it Celtic or is it Celtic?
It depends on if you're in the Caribbean or the Caribbean.
Exactly. So the Celtic Festival of Samhain, spelled Samhaim, Samhain.
Mm-hmm.
It is a festival in Ireland/Scotland where they wear costumes and light bonfires to ward off ghosts. That's the first like real defined moment of Halloween,
I was gonna
according
include this
to
in
my 6 seconds.
our fall episode, but about pumpkins. But I also read that yeah, the Irish are the ones that brought jack-o'-lanterns to America, and they originally used turnips and carved, basically carved
They carve
faces.
turnips
Yeah,
in the
in the
turnips.
turnips, they
Huh.
carved faces in the
They're not
turnips
very big.
to ward
They
off.
must have had
Yeah,
tiny little hands.
yeah. Well, I mean,
There's a lot of lore and fairy tale and storytelling, and there's a lot of that. The druids and
now, have you ever bobbed for apples?
it's on my list.
Okay,
I
well,
have
take it away.
I I have.
I have
I'm
too.
not very good at it.
It's not fun at all.
It's terrible. It's
It
awful.
makes a mess.
It's gross.
And if you're wearing,
Especially if you have long
yeah,
hair
and if you're wearing a costume or you have makeup on, it just ruins. Yeah,
everywhere.
but go ahead,
Yeah.
give us the lowdown on bobbing for apples while I adjust my
The
hair.
trick to the trick is you got to push it against, because you can't just grab onto it with your, because it's just not, you got to push it against the side or the bottom. And if you're going to the bottom, then your whole head is submerged and upside down, and you get water in your nose. It's not fun. I would recommend anyone who's going to do that try and push it to the side, but keep it up high so that you're not completely submerged upside down with water getting in your nostrils.
Mm.
That is my suggestion. Or don't do it.
Now, I did see what the origin of that game was,
No, I did not.
and in my 8 minutes of research, it was like a dating type of thing where um, whichever apple you got is the man or woman that you would be paired up with. Kind of like a little
So kind of
apple
so
bobbing
kind of like
dating
dropping the
game.
keys in the
It's like a key
dropping the
party.
keys in the bowl at his swing party.
Yeah, so
Teal pumpkins, go back to the last
it was
episode.
kind of like, how they had quite a few comments on the TikTok about the teal pumpkins. A lot of people agreed with me. They thought that's what
Yeah,
direction we were going in until we talked about
yeah.
the what it actually meant. And then I did read something about the Teal Pumpkin Project, and it's because you had asked like where the hell did that come from, and what nobody knows this. Well, apparently there is a movement to get away from candy and treats and do more like toys and things like that. I don't know. But anyway, to each their own. But yeah, bobbing for apples was like a dating ritual. And that's how
Interesting.
oh, I like that girl. I hope she gets my apple.
Maybe they should bring it back because I'm not seeing a whole lot of success with the most current dating tradition of apps.
Yeah. Well, to
I
me,
mean, for some it's
at
worked, but
least with apps, you can see the person, although I don't know how.
you could with bobbing for apples, you're all
But I
there.
mean, as opposed to the personal ads in the paper. Remember those? Where it was like,
Yes.
hi, fun loving gal
SWF,
seeks
searching
fun loving
for.
guy, but I mean, I don't know how truthful a lot of these photos are because you can manipulate everybody's picture with AI and filters and stuff. So, um, like I see people pop up on my Instagram that I know, and I'm like, they don't look anything like that. What is that
A
filter?
suggestion that I have been trying to encourage. I just don't have big enough following on any of the random socials that I think certain retail stores, right? Because you always have the guy that's like, oh, how do you find dating?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going to Hobby Lobby. So, like, get a handful of these that have decent following and pick a store and then just be like, okay, Wednesday at Target from 5 to 8 is single shopping night and wear a blue shirt. And so anybody who's walking around Target from 5 to 8 on Wednesday night in a blue shirt is single, and that's your and it's like, so if somebody walks up to you and says, hey, my name's so and so, would you like to have coffee sometime, it's not weird because
Mm,
you're there in your blue shirt for that reason, as
yeah.
opposed to you just shopping on a normal day and somebody does it and you're like, I don't really know. But like, lean into it. Try
I
it.
thought
Why
grocery
not?
stores were tried to do that for a little while, you know?
I never saw that. I think people try to do it, but like you have to publicize it
Right.
and then partner with people who also are in that lane and have them publicize it. I don't know.
Well, and
It's just my
it
marketing
makes me think
genius.
about, how our parents met. Like my parents met at like a dance, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was
Cool.
stuff that was organized for people to meet each other. And I know churches do a lot. However, this is my thing about churches organizing singles events. I'm all for it. That's great. However, just because it's a church does not take the element of you might meet a serial killer out of the mix. We've seen enough
That
Forensic
is
Files,
true.
Dateline, City Confidential, and all of those shows to know that that's not a surefire guarantee that you're going to meet someone that's not going to um, murder you in
The
some way.
odds yeah, but the odds are just the same anywhere
They
else, I
are,
think.
and I just am very thankful that I'm not a single person in this day and age because I don't know how you're doing it out there in single
And
land.
just being fine being single. Like
Yeah.
it's okay.
But for
I'm
people that
good.
are not, for people that, there are some people that don't want to be single. They're not happy
This is
being
true.
single. They have to have somebody. And I just how you meet those people now. And I guess it's a lot easier to vet people with all the information that's online. But still, it's,
You just get it. You just gonna give it to look it. If you need to vet somebody, I will tell you this story. My 24-year-old daughter will find anything. We were at a Kings game last year, sitting next to a couple, and she goes, and I don't know if it was a couple. She goes, "Do you think those two are dating?" And I go, "Yeah,
I
like
don't know. I'm watching
they
the
look like
game.
they right. They look like they could be related. They weren't like cozy. If they were a couple, they were either super new or like so long." She goes, because if they are, he's cheating on her. And I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, I've been reading his text. He's been texting some other girl all night. And then, like 45 seconds later, she pulls up the Instagram and she goes, look, there they are on Instagram. There, should I tell him? I'm like, yeah, stay out of it. Like, but in 45 seconds,
She had the whole she had a
she
whole
had the whole
story waked up
story.
in her
She had the
head,
whole
whether it was true
story.
or
Yeah.
not. Yep.
Well, but she
Oh.
had some concrete proof to prove it because I don't know. She's, I have a few little tricks up my sleeve where I find certain things that other people can't find, but
Yeah, I've done that before with when I was in a position where I hired and fired people. You know,
yeah,
it's you can't always
yeah.
get information about a candidate just from their resume
Resume
or
that's full of lies.
but you know what is amazing because people don't call and do reference checks anymore. Because in a lot of cases, you can't. You're calling a company, and all they can say is, yes, they worked for us from this date to this date. Yes, they're eligible for rehire. That's all they'll tell you. But living in a small town, 9 times out of 10, I already knew half the person's backstory. And I was amazed at what some people will tell you. You know, this is off the record, but I'm like, there is no
There's no
record.
such
There's
thing.
no record, but just tell me. And it's amazing what kind of information you can get out of people. You can always tell the ones that are like, well, I can't. Yeah, they were fine. But then you'll get somebody that wants to talk, and they're like, oh boy, yeah, you'll dodge a bullet if you don't hire this person. So
Also, like if you can't have a big online public presence and then get mad if people find out things about you. Like if you Google my name or my married name, other people come up
mhm.
because they're similar to famous people. So like if you Google Sharon Blair, it'll come up Selma Blair.
Yeah,
So you can't, so it's harder to
you
find
get
me.
Shannon
If
Doherty.
you do Sharon Doherty, you get Shannon Doherty. So it's harder to, so it's just an extra layer. I mean, most of my stuff's all private and yeah,
Yeah, and
nobody
so
cares what
and
I'm doing.
I Karen is not my first name. So,
Yes.
I have a different first name. I have a married name. So I have like 9 different permutations of any name you could give me. And
Can't find you.
if you
Harder to
Google
find.
my name as it is now, nuns come up. You'll find like a whole
Perfect.
slew of nuns. So, hey, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
I'm living in the holy world. So, yeah. That's why I always, when I used to watch those housewife shows, it was like, really? You're upset that people found out stuff about you? You have a whole show
It's
devoted to your
online.
life, a reality show. I mean, come on, folks. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
I will say some of the things that if I were to have a big party or do something, I love the food themed stuff, right? Like, so you wrap cream cheese in the shape of a hand
hmm
in prosciutto, and like you put onions for the nail or
right.
almonds for the nail. Like, I love
That's
that kind of
clever.
fun stuff for that.
That's clever.
I love all of it. They had
This,
cheese balls with olives in it that look like eyeballs, or the hot dog that they cut open to make legs, and then they wrapped it in crescent rolls to make it look like a mummy. And
right.
I love all that stuff. That stuff is
Yeah,
fun.
we did a one of my haunted houses. It was the creepy hotel theme. So we always had a pool table we had to work around. We couldn't move the damn pool table, it weighed too much. So we had to make it like, okay, this year I think we did a creepy hospital. We turned it into an operating table. For the
Nice.
carnival, we turned it into a platform, and I was the bearded lady sitting on top of it in like a tent. And then for the haunted hotel, we turned it into a big creepy dining table. So yeah, we took a plastic skeleton, we wrapped it in plastic wrap, we covered it in cream cheese, and then wrapped it in cold cuts. And so then we were
Nice.
eating off of it as people were
Yeah.
came through, and yeah, olives for eyes and that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's the fun part. That's the creative part.
I love the fun stuff. Yeah.
Um,
They had a loaf of bread where they put like spinach dip in it, and they put like a plastic um skeleton and different like he was inside of it, and then they cut it and propped it open with toothpicks so it looked like a coffin.
mm-hmm.
Very cute. I loved
Oh,
it.
fun. Yeah.
But I'm not having a party just to make cool food.
No, I don't want anybody in my house.
I don't want to
To
work
go
that
to
hard.
parties, where someone else does all the
I'll
work.
bring something
Yeah.
if somebody has a party. I'm always up for bringing
Yeah,
something.
I'm down with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to
Mm.
have people in my house. Okay, any other last thoughts about the Halloween? There's so much we could do, but
No,
I think we
that's
covered our
I
favorite
got all
movies and
covered on my list.
yeah.
Yep.
And I do
Yep.
have to say I've never seen any of the Scream movies or the Scary Movie movies.
Um, I've seen some of them, and I enjoy the Scream ones. They're usually pretty clever. The scary movie, they're goof. They're stupid. They're funny. They're take brain
Yeah.
off, set it on table, enjoy.
There is one that I failed to mention that I know it's very popular, um, but Hocus Pocus. I watched it and I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. I love those actresses, just not on those parts. I thought the story was stupid.
Goofy.
I mean, who is it made for kids? Made for adults? I don't know that
I
either
think so. I think it's
really
yeah. I
like
don't
it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
some
the other
movies.
one that I guess you could call it like a Halloween type of movie, I tried to watch it once, made it through maybe the first 20 minutes, and said, "This is so awful." Apparently, I'm not a 13-year-old girl and I can't do it. And that's Twilight. I know they were hugely
Ugh.
popular. Can't do it. Awful.
It's so weird, and it's just so
Sexy
slow.
vampires? Okay. Okay.
Scenes were fun.
Yeah. Didn't get that
Yes,
far. Didn't get that far.
that's fair. That's fair.
All right. So, what you talking about,
All
Willis?
right.
What you got for me?
What you talking about, Willis? So I really try very hard because I'm trying to bring the word groovy back so bad. Like like when I'm at work and people say, "Oh, how are you?" I'm like, "I'm groovy." Like that's my go-to is I'm groovy. Something different than I'm fine. And then on Fridays I'm super groovy. So I'm trying to bring back, groovy. It's the equivalent to like a lit or fire, slay or cool or anyways. But groovy, that's just
Groovy.
I just it's fun to say. It's a fun word. If you try it. Try it when somebody says, "Oh,
Yeah.
how are you?" Just go, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
because I get
groovy."
a lot of that at
See what
work. How are you
happens.
today? And I
Yeah.
usually say, I'm
Yeah.
peachy bueno.
Peachy
That's
Bueno's
that's
fun, but
another
groovy.
that's another
Groovy's a good one.
Sheilaism I like to call them. Peachy bueno. How about I'm groovy spaz? How about you? We could throw spaz in there too, since we're trying to bring
Do
spaz
it.
back.
Perfect.
Um,
Great.
or I like George Carlin did a whole thing about that one time, where he'd say, "I'm fine, you're fine, she's fine, and he's fine too. We're all fine." So he would say, "I'm moderately neato, bouncy today." I'm bouncing and
Well, I'm
behaving.
groovy.
All right, I'll
That
try
was a
it.
great commercial. I got to add that to the commercial list. I mean, I'm going to try Peachy Bueno.
Peachy bueno. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Or I'll say I'm a little salty today. If I'm feeling a little, you know, a little salty
It could go
today.
either way. That could go either way.
Yeah. Okay, so my what you talking about, Willis, is, and again, this just popped up this morning as I was, pre-show doom scrolling. And um, do you remember moon boots?
Yes.
Are they back?
I do remember moon boots. No.
Because
Can't pop.
um, an advertisement for Saks Fifth Avenue popped up on my phone, and it had like four items, and one of them was a pair of $170 moon boots.
Were they called moon boots?
Yes, the Moon Boot Company is still alive and well, and they've apparently,
Oh,
s- like random
really?
celebrities will wear them and they'll come and go in and out of fashion, but they look funky. Like they're not the traditional puffy nylon filled, kind of
They
snow
have
boot.
some of the puffy nylon
They do,
feel
but they also
fills
have like a chunky, weird looking Frankenstein stomping thing. And
with like a
with like
with
a
a
lug
there. It's
sole.
not supposed to. It's not supposed to have like a tie on it.
So I do have to say that um, after having lived and worked in a ski town with a ski area, people try to, I guess, emulate some of these fashion choices made by celebrities who are being paid to advertise this, or have a stylist who's being paid to advertise this company.
And they still don't look good
And
on
these
them.
people show up wearing these ridiculous costumes, I would call them. And I don't know if you realize, but we're all laughing at you. We're laughing at you. People in the moon boots with the giant coats and the big hats and the disco ball
I mean, what
parka,
I don't understand why you wouldn't. I mean, like, I feel like an UGG boot is more like a moon. Like, they're not. They're.
but not on
I don't
guys.
understand.
No Ugg boots on guys. We've established that, especially with shorts. They look weird. But
No, but if you're like, if you go skiing and you get off the ski slopes,
right,
you want to throw
you
on
put
your
on your
Uggs to go to
Uggs.
the. That's totally
That's
fine.
fine.
I don't think we should do moon boots.
Moon boots.
They're ugly.
Yeah, they're not.
Ew.
And I thought, if these are coming back, God help us all. I don't know where we're going with that.
Everything comes back
It
eventually.
does. It does.
Things shouldn't, though.
All right. Well,
They
that's
do.
that's all
They
I
do.
got.
All right,
That's
that's
our
it. That's
Halloween
all we got for
extravaganza
Halloween.
bonanza. This is my jaunty hat, and I didn't want to do my hair
You have a
today,
jaunty hat.
so
I I brushed it and it looked okay. So I'm like, all right, we're good to go.
everybody get out there, have a safe Halloween, have a happy Halloween, enjoy the holiday.
There's probably some Halloween parties coming up for people. So
Yeah,
take an Uber.
take an Uber. Don't drink and drive.
Take an Uber.
And I think all the candy goes on sale today. 30% off Halloween candy already. So get yourself
Perfect. That makes me happy.
some candy corn.
No, some Reese's. But did somebody actually sue Reese's because the pumpkin wasn't really shaped like a pumpkin, or
What?
the pumpkin on the outside of the wrapper had the face carved in, but when they opened it, it didn't, so that was false. I don't know. There's people. Don't do that.
So the thing that got me with the Reese's pumpkin, and I don't even really like Reese's, they have a Reese's peanut butter and jelly
No.
butter cup now. And I thought, oh, I'd like to try that. And so I saw it and I grabbed it, but when I opened it, it was just the pumpkin, because the package has like purple on it for Halloween. It's purple and orange, and I thought, oh, it's purple because it's the PB&J peanut butter cup, and it's not. And I was sorely disappointed because I'm not even a big Reese's peanut butter cup fan. I said I
Well,
just wanted to try
dunk
it because it was a PBJ.
dunk it in your jelly at home.
Yeah, it doesn't dunk so easily, but
Get a knife, spread it on.
that's way too much work.
It's a lot of
It's
work.
a lot of work for something I shouldn't be eating in the first place, that I have to shove in my mouth quickly to forget that I'm eating it.
I don't know. I just don't think Reese's taste as good as they used to.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the difference. Wouldn't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, happy Halloween, everybody.
yeah.
We didn't get another subscriber for episode 15, so we're still at 14. I was really hoping.
No, this is 14.
I thought this was episode
13, wasn't it?
15.
Oh, shit. Maybe it is.
We were trying to get one more subscriber to mirror the number of the
For each
episode,
episode?
but that just didn't
I'll
happen.
call someone.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.